Well, differences between Tantra and Kabbalah are obvious, because, and before I answer really, I can say that I'm not initiated into the deeper level of Kabbalah. I study Kabbalah in many ways, and I'm Jewish, and I learn in all kind of places, but but I might not be fully correct on this part. Unlike I have more experience with Tantra actually, but I can say that the Kabbalists were living in a tradition where they sometimes had to be very, very secretive about the stuff they did. They were not fully accepted in many ways in the normal society, which was religious, but it was religious in a simple way. The Kabbalistic always tried to give deeper meaning to stuff, and they were more interested in this. While the normal Jews, they were more interested in pleasing God. It doesn't matter how you feel, just do what God wants. This is the commandment. It's more like a ritualistic thing. The Kabbalistic were much more interested in this mental change, in the spiritual inner change that these practices were supposed to create. But I feel they didn't really had enough revelation about working, for example, with their sexuality. I haven't found in Kabbalah so far a clear understanding of sublimation, which is a very clear understanding in Tantra. The most basic thing when it comes to sexual energy is how to transform this energy, how to take this energy and transform it. I haven't found any serious teaching about it in the Kabbalah tradition that really explain how it can be done, and you can separate orgasm from the ejaculation from men, how you can stuff like this. It's not very clear that they had these sort of practices. Another thing, the Jewish tradition was very much geocentric, which means in many ways only Jews sometimes have souls and stuff like this. Only the Jew has the ability to do the really high spiritual work. It is a very practical Jewish thing. And most of the old-fashioned Orthodox Kabbalistic people, they were fully into it. They had even very spiritual ideas, how come only the Jewish can do whatever. And the Tantra is far more universal. Everybody can reach enlightenment in Tantra. Women, men, slaves, rich people, noblemen, beggars, they all can reach enlightenment. There are a lot of stories about the low caste in India, how and a tantric master found somebody, or some of the greatest tantric masters actually coming from the lowest caste in India, and just to show the world that even the lowest beggar can reach the top, the highest. So this is not to be found so much in Judaism. It's very Jew. The world was created for the Jew basically, and I don't know. And if you're not Jew, you don't have any chance, more or less. You can convert to something, but basically, it's very much Jewish stuff, very Jewish, very very biased for Jew. Only the modern Kabbalah, I think, has some movement which go beside that. And other aspects there are that it's kind of feel sometimes that it's more coming from the place of understanding the world from the view of God in Kabbalah, or all the sphere or the chakras, for example, the spheres, the 10 spheres. It's basically the way God look at things. How the infinite light of God is filtered through different levels of reality till it creates the universe, and then how this light is going back, and it's like that. While the tantrics, they were not so much into how God sees things, like it's called Dat Elyon, because they were more practical in this respect. They simply wanted to know how to practice to reach there. When they got there, it's okay, but how do I step from my place in there? So most of the practices that in Judaism, that at least that will remain in Kabbalistic things, they are very intellectual. You learn about stuff, but you don't have really the so how do you do it? How you create the effect? How do you reach insight into this thing? Real insight, real attainment in the thing. It's not very clear. And historically, I think it was there. For example, there is this story in Kabbalah. Four saints, four very famous rabbis who went into the Pardes, which is the holy field of God. And what happened to everybody? It was a very dangerous journey into heaven, basically. And one got killed, and one got mad, one became a very evil person, got very, very twisted in his character. Only one reached God and went back. But you can really see that they have this esoteric knowledge that was made to bring the soul into heaven. They use all kind of uttering of the names of God, and use all kind of ways to put their body position, and all kind of meditations and stuff like this. They had some knowledge. I think this knowledge is very, very hard to reach, to get to today. Some Moroccan Jews, they keep some of the spellcraft of Kabbalah, which is more like how to create magic, more like the black or tantra of the Jew, of the tantric, like the black tantra. They're like book Sefer Harazim, the book of secrets, which is basically a spellcraft, witchcraft book, and so on. And those more serious Kabbalists who were really into reaching high levels, at least the open teachings that they reveal, are very much into study a lot, do all the Jewish things, study a lot, and by the understanding, they say there is Or Machzir Lamutav. The light that brings you back into realization, it's enough for you to study this knowledge and you will understand and you get somewhere high. Why I can say Tantra is a very practical and very rich in esoteric techniques and esoteric meditations and esoteric work with the energy, direct work with energy. You don't have just to study and something happen. Have to raise the spiritual energy from the root of your tailbone up to the crown, and using all kind of visualization. It's a much more practical in a much way. It's much more. So how do I get the result, the spiritual result? There is a lot of techniques there. While the Kabbalah, there might be techniques like that. I haven't found to be very, very clear teaching there, but it might be. If there is a clear teaching, it must be revealed for very few. Because even the names of God, stuff like this, it is kind of open, the 42 letter name and stuff. You can learn it, but it's not really clear how to use it in a fully spiritual way. And I haven't seen too many people. I met a lot of at least New Age Kabbalists, and it doesn't feel to me like they really use it to full capacity. And the high Kabbalists, the traditional Kabbalists I met, that some of them were very powerful. There were people who basically study all the time, and then a very hardcore sort of lifestyle. And if they know stuff, they keep it only to a very, very small group. And so I can tell more about that. The tantric knowledge today is much more open, much more revealed.